Hey, welcome to another midweek devotion. So, I don't know how you would describe the weather lately here in Minnesota, but a word I would use is random. I mean, here we are in the month of February. Yesterday it was 60 some degrees out. Today, this morning, it is nice and beautiful. And by this evening, the temperatures will be in the single digits. It is certainly random. And what I wanted to talk about today in our devotion for this week is a random occurrence that happens in the Bible. And it happens right before Matthew 5. So Jesus and his disciples are all in a boat. Okay, now we always got to remember that a lot of these disciples, before they were disciples, were fishermen. But then something happens. A seemingly random storm comes up on the sea, and they are frightened. They're scared. They probably did everything they could, everything they knew as fishermen to try to get things figured out, and they couldn't. And finally, they woke up Jesus and they said, "Are you not afraid? Are we going to die? What's going to happen?" Jesus gets up and he simply says, "Be still." And then the storm is still. And the disciples are just praising Jesus. They're amazed. They're in awe of what he just did. And honestly, to me, whenever I read this Bible story, it does seem random. I mean, here's Jesus on the sea, random storm comes up, and he calms it. But see, I don't think it's random when you look in what happens next. So then, as we go in, this was the story, I preached on this last Sunday, then Jesus ends up in this land of the Gerasenes. And while he's there, what he ends up doing is he sees a demon-possessed man. The demon-possessed man comes to him, and Jesus ends up healing this man. And what happens to this man then? This man then goes and spreads the gospel. He tells his friends, he goes to 10 separate cities. Wherever he goes, he is a walking testimonial of Jesus and what Jesus can do and how Jesus' grace and his mercy continue to spread. See, I think a lot of times in life we look at things, we're like, wow, that was random. But honestly, I think a lot of times if we kind of peel things back, or maybe we look back on something that might have been random a while ago, we see, wow, that actually had a purpose. That actually got us somewhere. Because I would argue that storm, while it seemed random, didn't end up being random at all. Because it got Jesus exactly where he was planning to go in the first place, to go to this place where he could heal this man. So I don't have an answer to the weather. I think most of the time meteorologists don't have an answer to the weather and what's going to happen in our random, whatever this thing is called, winter, I guess, or spring. But in our life, I think every once in a while we have to stop back and we have to look and say, was that really random? Or was that God at work? Was that really random, or was God trying to get me to someplace else? Was God trying to push me towards something, or was God trying to help me see something maybe that I missed all along? Because our lives are not random. God is with us. God is moving us towards things. God is challenging us. God is stretching us. God is testing us. And all these things are good. Maybe not in the moment they're good. Maybe not in the moment. We don't like those storms of our life that come up. We don't like those random 6 inches of snow we got a couple weeks ago. We don't like those things. But in those things, those random moments that can be difficult, we need to see what opportunities might also be there. What God might be opening us or challenging us to something new. Because I said, as I look in the scripture, that storm wasn't random at all. That storm got Jesus exactly where he was going to go so his ministry and his grace could continue to pour out on other people. I think the same's true of us. We might be in a storm, or you might be in a storm of life right now that's really difficult. It might seem random. You might not know why it's happening. But on the other side of it might be something amazing. Might be an opportunity for you to share grace with someone else. So I don't know what else is going to happen in this random non-winter we've had. But I do know there's a purpose, that God is going to continue to guide us forward. I'm going to continue to trust in him.